Hey everybody, welcome to episode 160 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I am awesome, everybody. How are you today, this morning, this beautiful East Texas morning?
It is nice
coming
today.
At you from Texas. Oh, man, I'm glad to be here with everybody. There's a big news day. Media is all crazy out there. But one thing that's really struck us here in Texas is the fact that our Attorney General, Ken Paxton, is once again being targeted.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that they just won't let up. They don't. They never let up. What is that you're always saying? They play chess.
Yes, they do. You know, I guess them coming after him for an impeachment again after they got humiliated the way they did the first time. Yeah, that's kind of shocking to me. You know what I mean?
They're just not going to give up. They need him gone so bad.
Exactly.
You know, but he came out with a statement yesterday about this. And it says he slams the desperate establishment plot to impeach in explosive Newsmax interview.
It says AG Paxton made the following statement on Newsmax's Rob Schmitz tonight when asked about the coming Texas House General Investigating Committee hearing. Next week's House General Investigating Committee is yet another desperate attempt by the Republican establishment to impeach me. Their bitter obsession with taking me down knows no bounds, and they will stop at nothing to remove me from office. Just like Biden's relentless attacks on President Trump, establishment Republicans in Texas have joined forces with the Democrats to launch a full-force lawfare assault against me. These lame duck Republicans who lost their primaries thanks to my support are now conspiring with Democrats to remove me from office. I have delivered conservative results in Texas and have been the last line of defense against voter fraud. But mark my words, these weak-kneed, pre-open border Republicans will work with the Democrats to replace me with an AG who will turn a blind eye to the voter fraud. Texas, this is a warning. They want to rig the election against Trump. By removing me from office, they aim to appoint an AG who will refuse to prosecute voter fraud. Democrats and their Republican enablers pose the biggest threat to America and Texas democracy. The Austin elite cannot go unchecked. Republicans, conservatives, and patriots across the state and country need to come together and fight back. We have defeated the establishment class in Austin before, and we will do it again. Together, we will fight voter fraud and deliver Trump a victory in November, said Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Man. And he's right. They want to rig this election against Trump. They want to take Texas.
They want any person that stands on the ground in America to vote. They want your dog to vote. They want your kid to vote. They want your cat to vote, your chickens. I'm telling you, these guys they'll take a plant. If they could put a pen in a plant's hand and make it sign a damn ballot, they'd vote him. This is crazy the way they're doing this.
And they don't understand that this is really making Texas
understand.
mad.
They understand, and they don't care.
You know, they're mad at Texans for voting out a lot of these people that did this.
Yes, they are. What was it, 15?
Yes.
Yep.
You know, and thank the Lord that we voted them out, because I don't think that there is no way that they're going to get that many people to vote against, to vote to impeach.
Well, think about this.
Paxton,
just the fact that it's coming up again and the speaker is going to be the ringleader in this. If I'm any member of the House at this point and I see this go on and I think, no, man, not again. Here we go again. You know what I'd do? I move to censure Dade Phelan. That's what I would do.
Be done.
Yeah, I would move to censure him, and I'd put some heat back on him, put him on his heels. He'll shut up about this.
Well, you know, Dade Phelan is the reason why they want to do this now before the end of the session, because Dade Phelan just might not be Speaker of the House next time. And that, my friends, it would make every Texan happy. I mean, just literally happy.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know. In a side-by-side comparison to a market leader, Cornbread Hemp checks all the boxes. They are USDA certified organic, flower only extracted, full spectrum, free of artificial colors and preservatives, and they are third-party lab tested.
Cornbread Hemp supports me on my wellness journey. I love cornbread hemp gummies. I especially enjoyed the watermelon gummies. After work, when I feel overwhelmed, I take a gummy and I go for a relaxing and calming swim. So make sure you get you some cornbread hemp gummies. I take them daily. So whether you choose to take cornbread hemp gummies, oils, lotion, or whatever you choose, take them daily and discover a delicious way to improve your health and well-being. And if you're having problems with winding down for the day, try out cornbread hemp sleep gummies or the lotion, which I use every night to soothe my joint discomfort. Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. And I want to thank you so much for supporting our sponsors. We do appreciate that. They help keep the show free for us, and I know it takes a minute or two, but we appreciate your patience. And we want to also ask you to share the show, and we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. And stomp that like button and follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms. For example, Apple and Spotify. You can also see us on YouTube and download that Rumble app, where this is where we're at mainly, so you can follow the show. And you will receive instant notifications when we go live Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Thank you very much, and let's get on with the show then. Now, what's the first thing we always do?
Ban and watch. And call to action. I just want to remind everybody that there's 114 days left of prison for Mr. Bannon. And we've mentioned on a previous show how Matt Boyle of Breitbart interviewed Bannon over email in an exclusive interview. And we're going to play a clip of Matt Boyle talking about this interview with Dave Bratt on War Room yesterday.
Last big thing I would highlight from the interview that Steve zoned in on is his views on the media. The media and Biden have always had a contentious relationship, but it's really frayed right now because the media feels like they were lied to, and they helped lie to cover up this scandal with Biden and his cognitive abilities. And so Steve really goes in depth on that. And then the one other thing that he mentions is the second side of things, and beyond the actual the national security crisis that we're talking about here, there's a political crisis for Democrats and what they're going to do. As it looks right now, it looks like they're sticking with Biden, though there are some Democrats that are still trying to get him out. So what they decide, assuming they stick with Biden, Steve says that's the candidate we want if we're MAGA, because the fact is that he's a lot easier to beat and would cause serious damage down ticket for Democrats.
Well, he's exactly right. This is what we're here to do. We're here to push this out, and it is the media. The media is going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, as always. As always. Mediaite has an article out that said incarcerated Steve Bannon says Republicans prefer to run against the Cadaver Biden.
It does.
I would,
it's so
yeah.
funny. It makes me laugh.
It does.
The Cadaver Biden.
That's their choice, though.
That is.
That's their choice.
Their choice.
Mediaite goes on to say, they say, former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon said on Wednesday that Republicans are glad to be running against President Joe Biden, whom he likened to a cadaver during an interview from prison with Breitbart News. He said, we must get to the bottom of it, and we must do that now, said Bannon, who is currently serving a 4-month term for contempt of Congress. He said, this is not about whether Biden can serve 4 more years, but can he get the country safely to January 2025?
And that's a national security problem we're having right now, folks.
Isn't
and
it?
that's what we need to focus on. This is a national security problem.
Yep. Basically, what he's asking is, are we going to get into a world war before 2025?
Are we going to make it?
Are we going to make it?
And that's a good question to ask because the Democrats don't seem very worried about Biden being in there right now. But he also goes on to say the political goal here for MAGA is to toxify the process of the Democratic bait and switch as much as possible. This is all-out process, and the American voters should be armed with minute-by-minute information on what is actually going on. I'm sure they will be repulsed, but folks, this is really the signal right here. This is what he's telling you to do.
Yep.
He's telling you that your goal is to toxify it, is to tell the voters that, hey, they're fixing to get rid of the person you voted for in the primary. They're doing it, and there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it.
Unless you stand up. Yep.
It's time to stand up against the Democratic bait and switch. And this, I think they've had this plan for a long time. And, that's where we're going with this. They, like we said, they play chess.
Yeah.
And they've had this plan for a long time. They've known behind the scenes. They've known.
Colluded with the media to lie to us.
To absolutely lie to us.
Yep.
And they're going to keep on doing it. That's what the call of action is, folks. Is to push out that Biden is going to be the nominee for the Democrat Party.
Because that's what the Constitution says.
Yes.
People voted for him.
That's right.
Like I keep saying, Dems, don't let them steal your vote.
That's exactly right. And Trump, watch.
Here we go.
He's going to be in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, the 13th. So everybody show up, MAGA. Have a great time at a rally, man. I'm telling you, President Trump, he's awesome at rallies.
They know how to hold an event. It's really good. We've been to them, and they're cool.
They are cool. And then the RNC starts July 15th, and it goes through the 18th. I want to correct myself from yesterday. I said it started the 18th, but it actually starts on Monday the 15th and ends on the 18th. It's going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at the Fifth Serve Forum. The RNC chair, Michael Watley, will be there, and the keynote speaker is to be determined. But there are notable speakers.
Yeah. Sean O'Brien, Amber Rose, Ron DeSantis is going to be there. MTG is going to be there. Carrie Lake, Elise Stefanik, Jim Justice. And the themes for next week are on Monday, on the 15th, Make America Wealthy. On the 16th, Make America Safe Again. On the 17th, Make America Strong Again. And on the 18th, the theme, as always, will be Make America Great Again.
What I find strange is they keep talking about Haley all over the media. They keep pushing her. I don't understand. But, yesterday she gave up her 97 delegates to President Trump. And so far, she's not going to be there at the convention at all. He was asked about Haley on the radio show. So listen to this.
And we are just days away from the Republican National Convention, and we are learning more details of the week's events. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and UFC President Dana White confirmed to speak next week in Milwaukee, but Nikki Haley isn't expected to be in attendance. The fourth president spoke to Brian about whether or not she should be invited. Watch.
Would you want to invite her? Is that an oversight or intentional?
Well, I'll take a look at that. I mean, I have heard that this morning, so I'll take a look at that.
So you would like to see her go?
I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it. I want to see. I know she gave her delegates over. There was a lot of bad blood there. She stayed too long.
Well, Haley says that she's going to be releasing her delegates that she won during the primary and encouraging them to give their support to Donald Trump. And those are your headlines, guys. That's very.
And the fake news media also continues to tie that Project 2025 to as President Trump's agenda. But we all know what his agenda is. It's Agenda 47.
And the media also continues to try to tie Project 2025 as President Trump's agenda. But we all know now that it's Agenda 47 with the 20 highlights for the RNC, which we've gone over already in the past few shows, the past couple of days. But listen, the media are refusing to let this go, and so is Fox News. Listen here at Brian Kilmeade talking with Caroline Sunshine, defending President Trump on Fox and Friends this morning.
That's fine. We're going to play that clip a little bit later.
Jimmy Fallon.
From Jimmy Fallon. All right, thanks so much, Ainsley. Democrats frantically trying to tie former President Trump to Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation's conservative policy proposals, which the Biden campaign is going so far as to say Trump and the project are one and the same. And while Trump says he has nothing to do with the initiative, that hasn't stopped the media from jumping on the bandwagon, desperate to change the narrative in the press. Here to set the record straight, Trump 2024 Deputy Communications Director Caroline Sunshine. Caroline, what should we know about Project 2025 as it relates to the Trump campaign?
Well, President Trump said it best himself, as he usually does. He doesn't know anything about Project 2025. He doesn't have anything to do with it. That's very clear. Look, President Trump was directly involved in crafting the Republican Party's brand new platform. At the top, it says it is dedicated to the forgotten men and women of America, which is exactly who President Trump has been fighting for ever since he came down that escalator in 2015. And you look at the number one priority on it: secure a border, end the invasion, deport the criminal illegal immigrants who have been allowed into this country under Joe Biden. That is exactly what President Trump has said he's going to do on day one of his administration. Look, the same people for the last 4 years who have told the American people that Joe Biden's fine, he's sharp as a tack, he's doing cartwheels, are the same people pushing this current disinformation hoax, because that's what they do. They lie for a living about President Trump, whether it's the bloodbath hoax, whether it's Russian collusion, the laptop from hell. That's what these people do. They lie for a living. By the way, it's the Democrat Party that should really rename their platform Project 2025, because if these people are allowed to keep governing this country, we won't have a country by 2025.
Yeah,
Look at what Joe Biden and the Democrats have allowed to happen. We have 10 million illegal immigrants who have come into this country, 30 tons of fentanyl, 360 names off the terror watch list. They have weaponized the government against President Trump, but also against American mothers,
So, Caroline,
using counterterrorism resources.
I understand that. And by the way, some of the 900 pages does cover that. It's Heritage Foundation's conservative view of what they would do and recommend for a conservative president. It doesn't mean everything's great or everything's bad. It's just an interesting 900-page read. Donald Trump made it clear in True Social. He said, I know nothing about it.
And Brian says it completely correct right here. What this is a platform for any RNC candidate who would become president, not Donald Trump. He said that correct at the end.
Yes, it's a wish list.
It's things that they want to push to be passed.
They want to push, and they want to try to get them passed. President Trump put out a statement overnight about this Project 2025 once again, and he said, I know nothing about Project 2025. I have not seen it. I have no idea who is in charge of it. And unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. The radical left Democrats are having a field day, however, trying to hook me into whatever policies are stated or said. It is pure disinformation on their part. By now, after all these years, everyone knows where I stand on everything. And then it's signed DJT to let you know that he is the one that posted that.
Hey, are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit their website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite.
Please click that link below. Breaking news. The SAVE Act passes the House, 221 to 198.
Almost every Democrat voted to protect the ability of illegals to vote in federal elections.
Amazing.
Is that the most absurd thing we've ever heard? The SAVE Act, which requires proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections, passed the House now, 221 to 198 on Wednesday. Nearly every Democrat lawmaker voted to protect the ability of illegals to vote in federal elections. This is after Biden flooded the U.S. with more than 15 million illegal aliens. This bill amends the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 to require voters to show documentary proof of the United States citizenship. Under current law, states can only require proof of citizenship to register to vote in local and state elections. Gateway Pundit had recently reported on the Democrats' opposition to the bill, and Minority Whip Catherine Clark, who's a Democrat from Massachusetts, her efforts urging House Democrats to vote no on the bill this week. Clark dishonestly claimed that the new law would prevent Americans from registering to vote with their driver's license alone and would make a passport the only acceptable standalone form of identification, which is complete BS. The bill outlines 5 acceptable forms of identification to prove citizenship. Here's part of the White House statement. It says, the administration strongly opposes H.R. 8281, the SAFE Act. It is already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. It is a federal crime punishable by prison and fines. The alleged justification for this bill is based on easily disproven falsehoods. Additionally, making a false claim of citizenship or unlawfully voting in an election is punishable by removal from the United States and a permanent bar to admission. Can I stop right
there? You can.
Good Lord. All that we have learned about what they're doing to bring people, illegal aliens, across the damn border, and what we've already learned how the NGOs, HIAS, RCM, all that, and that continues to be the two that we highlight most of all because they're two of the biggest. But all of these people continue to tell the truth that what they're doing with these people is registering them to vote.
If they believe they're a citizen, they can register them to vote.
And so they've been doing this all this time, man.
Yes. They use the word American citizen, and they claim everybody in America is a citizen, and that is false.
That's what I said earlier. Every person standing on American soil and their dog and their cat, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They just claim everything is there. It's God dog, man.
Also, don't forget the executive order that Biden's administration put out. It's 14019, and it allows all of the welfare agencies and any agency in the federal government to register anybody without an ID. So,
I get it.
You know, with this SAVE Act, it might save and get rid of that 14019 executive order, but I'm not really for sure what it does.
And he goes on to lie. He goes on to lie that states already have effective safeguards in place to verify voters' eligibility and maintain the accuracy of voter rolls. That's a lie.
That is a lie.
He doesn't. This bill would do nothing to safeguard our elections. Yes, it will. But it would make it much harder for all eligible Americans to register to vote and increase the risk that eligible voters are purged from voter rolls. So they're saying by preventing illegal aliens to vote in our elections, you're preventing American voters from being able to vote. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's total word salad. And another thing I do want to point out about this is they mentioned the states in here. Well, the states already have their laws. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I seen a map this morning of the states that do not require photo ID, and they're more than the ones that require photo ID. So if we continue on at this point and not do something about our elections, our federal elections also, we're going to lose our country if we haven't already done it.
Exactly.
Because by the map, Democrats would win 307 to 270 on the no voter ID in their states. I mean, there is way more
right
now that don't do voter ID. So they want to push the states. They want to push, hey, let's do it in the states. Let's have the states do it. And that's why they keep saying, well, it's already a law in the federal government. But, you know, the states, they make their own laws.
Exactly. What we've learned, too, in a lot of states, it just asks you a question, are you an American citizen? And it doesn't demand proof of any of that.
Yes, that's it. When they go and get their IDs or whatever they do, they just click a box and that's it.
Well, and here's the biggest lie of this statement, I guess. The president has been clear. He will continue fighting to protect Americans' sacred right to vote in free, fair, and secure elections, including by calling on Congress to pass the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act.
There is no way.
They've never supported a free and fair election.
They don't. They totally don't. No, they don't. But we have other news going on right now. The high inflation is going to get higher, folks. I'm sorry to tell you that. But they've kept it as low as they could for as long as they could. And it's coming right up here to election season. And I'm telling you, it is getting higher.
Yeah, it's going to be shocking.
And Axios, go ahead.
Yep. And Axios comes out with an article that says the headline reads, "High inflation is no longer only risk for U.S. economy." That's what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said. He told lawmakers on Tuesday that a weakening labor market is just as much a risk to the economy as high inflation. And here we go, like we've talked about what Axios does, why it matters, what they're saying. Here's what Axios says, why it matters. In recent months, Fed officials have said they want to see more economic data that confirms inflation is receding before lowering interest rates. But Powell acknowledges that waiting too long to do so could unnecessarily harm the economy and the job market. What they're saying, in light of the process made both in lowering inflation and cooling the labor market over the past 2 years, elevated inflation is not the only risk we face, Powell told the Senate Banking Committee hearing. Reducing policy restraint too late or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. But Powell also says that lowering rates too soon could stall or even reverse the progress we've seen on inflation. I don't understand how lowering the rates would stall it. I don't. The most shocking thing about all of this is what we also learned in the hearing yesterday. And this is Jerome Powell being questioned.
Morning, we love them.
I love it
so much.
You too, Ainsley.
Okay, so Janice, we have a couple of headlines to get to. Good job. Fed Chair Jerome Powell making a huge admission during yesterday's hearing.
Over 2 years, with inflation still nagging us, with cost out of control, President Biden has not asked to meet with you in over 2 years.
I haven't had a meeting with him. He hasn't sought a meeting. And of course, I don't seek meetings.
The news comes as June's consumer price index will be released in just over an hour from now. Meanwhile, Costco is increasing its membership fee for the first time since 2017.
Can anybody tell us what in the hell is going on? Yeah.
Who has he been meeting with, I wonder?
Exactly.
Yeah, who do you think he's been meeting with exactly? I mean, what
is going on? That's all I really want to know.
I'm just really confused, as you can tell. I can't even
how can you
get out a thought on this, man, because, the American people need some answers.
Exactly. And just like with this, too, he admits, I ain't seen the president in 2 years, man.
But something else that we thought that you just needed to hear, because this is how the mainstream media are reacting to everything that's going on. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to come out and actually give you the real receipts or anything. But we have this video of Jake Tapper after he's told that the Biden campaign is suggesting that Joe Biden has more stamina than George Clooney because Clooney left a fundraiser before Joe Biden. This is hilarious.
And in response to those comments from George Clooney, Jake, a campaign official who attended that Los Angeles fundraiser tells me that George Clooney left 3 hours before the president. So clearly the gloves are off. Jake.
But what does that mean, that George Clooney left 3 hours? What's the point?
The point of that is to suggest that Biden's stamina is better than Clooney's, and Clooney didn't have, eyes on the entire event. That's the response to the Clooney op-ed.
Okay. Kayla Tashi, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Karen Finney.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to talk about that.
I will. I know this is your favorite topic. Look, it just seems like every day is going to be like this with people saying he should drop out. People that are Democratic Party stalwarts. George Clooney gets nothing out of this. This is. I mean, what does he gain? The only reason to do this is because he feels like he needs to convey this.
Yeah.
How does this end?
So let's just stipulate to the facts that this is not good. This is bad. Let's just say the obvious, right?
Okay, thank you.
This is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, and can you imagine Tapper, even his panelists that he had here talking to him, and they get this report, and they're actually trying to claim that Biden's in better shape than Clooney because he left a fundraiser earlier. This is nuts. This is absolute nuts. And Tapper, of all people, sat there and literally watched the man during a debate was 10 feet from him. Tapper knows exactly, man. This is awesome.
It is awesome. We have a Politico article here we want to go through for just a second because the headline says, and it's pretty telling right here about what they're trying to do to Joe Biden. Did Barack Obama endorse George Clooney's brutal op-ed calling Biden to step down? That's the headline. And then it goes on to say Barack Obama came out swinging for Joe Biden after his disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump. He says on X, bad debate nights happen, trust me, I know. But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who only cares about himself. But George Clooney, who dropped this whopper of an op-ed in the New York Times on Wednesday, is calling on Biden, who he referred to as a friend, in quotes, to drop out of the race. He went as far to say he thought Biden was so in cognitive decline that pundits say was on full display during his disastrous debate. Oh, come on, George Clooney. You were at the fundraiser. You left 3 hours early because you were embarrassed. I guarantee you,
No, he
you
didn't.
were embarrassed.
No, he didn't. He left 3 hours early because he's not in as good a shape as Joe Biden.
Oh,
that's why.
Like anyone believes that nonsense whatsoever. I could see totally why. I could see why Jake Tapper was like, what?
And it just gets crazier because Politico reported on Thursday that he was in touch with Obama. Did the former president approve? And this is what Politico reports. While Obama did not encourage or advise Clooney to say what he did, he also didn't object to it, we're told from people familiar with their exchange. The lack of pushback is an eye-popping revelation given that the former president was one of the first big voices defending Biden following his abysmal debate performance, while many of Biden's other aides or former aides have been some of the incumbent's biggest critics.
This is amazing, guys. The Democrat Party is splitting in half, but the Democrat voters, I mean, we can sit here and laugh about it all and make fun and all, and we want him to be our candidate. That's who we want to run against. That's who President Trump has gone through all the primaries for, man. This is constitutional. The Democrat voters have already picked their candidate.
They've done the same. That's exactly right.
And Lawrence on Fox and Friends this morning, he agrees with us. Listen to this.
Look for a wave, a tidal wave of defections saying Joe's got to go.
But here's the problem, Steve, and I want to go back to your poll that you just mentioned. Yep. There was already polling 2 years ago suggesting that the Democrats should hold a primary because the voters did not want Joe Biden on the ticket. Right. But the party leadership decided that they didn't want that to happen.
Well, that was Joe.
Joe
and his team.
But all of these insiders as well that are now coming on record or going behind the scenes said Joe is our guy. He's going to be the guy. He's on the ticket. And they didn't give voters the opportunity to vote on it. Donald Trump may have said the same thing, but the Republicans had a primary. And they fought it out and duked it out. So my position is, I think it's unfair to now the voters and the delegates that voted for Joe Biden in that primary to try to take it away from him. If you want to take it away from him, do the 25th Amendment. But you don't get to take it away now after people have already cast
Unless
their
he
votes.
releases
Unless he releases it.
The New York from
Look, guys, the media and Hollywood, they can scream all they want to, but the facts are, and the hard reality is, that the Democrat Party is gone, baby. They're gone, man.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
And we'll see you next time.
We're out.